Hey guys, today I want to share with you the worst Yamaha impeller I've had to remove up until this point. It was on this 2013 Yamaha VXR 1800. There was a really large rock locked onto the impeller blade, the impeller had broken off metal at the trailing edge, and there was fishing line wrapped around the drive shaft. Without further delay, let's get into the video and I'll explain to you what I had to do to remove this impeller.
Hey guys, I wanted to tell you about this, probably one of the worst impellers I think I've ever had to take off before. At this point, I have broken, I'd say 3 tools. I've got 2 half or 3/4 to half inch drive adapters. That was previously when I was actually using a half-inch drive socket here instead of using the 3/4. So I've got a 3/4 inch breaker bar. This is pretty much about the size of my leg, so that's huge as far as having leverage. Ended up getting the 3/4 inch drive impact sockets here to be able to put the drive shaft holding tool into it. So that is the leverage needed for that side of it. Yeah, you can put it in the vise, but as bad as this one was, it probably would have broken the vise too. So this is my 6-point impeller tool, which is a 1 1/16 socket, 6-point drive socket, actually welded to this bar. And normally I would put something, a length of like a jack handle or something on it. And this is actually one of Harbor Freight tools. This just happened to fit in it, so that worked pretty well. The problem is that it broke that tool too. As you can see, it actually broke the welds on that. So that's pretty out. So if you get in a situation like this, what I did is I ended up finding that after breaking the tools, it just wasn't going to come off no matter what. I still had to get it apart or just try to figure out how to get it apart. So ultimately, I ended up going the route of cutting the impeller. So this is one of the blades, and trying to cut down the center. It's extremely stout. But what I found when I finally got down to it, there's twine down in there. So it was probably built up on the threads of the drive shaft. And that was probably one of the reasons why I was trying to gall up the threads coming off. There was really no way to get this twine out because it was actually under and sucked up inside the impeller. So best I can tell you is that I used heat numerous times, torch heat, used leverage. I mean, this is another setup I did at the very end. Just trying to use a plumber's wrench or a pipe wrench and an extension, pretty much an extension on that. So that obviously didn't break, but ultimately what happened to that is it broke off the part on the impeller to hold, and so I was trying to not damage the drive shaft, but at this point the threads of the drive shaft at the very end are definitely damaged. Yeah, maybe it might hold an impeller, but at this point the drive shaft is probably toast. So if you get to the point where you're trying to take your impeller off and it's this bad, you probably might as well just go ahead and replace the pump assembly. It's at this point the drive shaft and the impeller are damaged. The only last thing is the pump itself. Maybe I could put a drive shaft and impeller in it. Might save some money, but it's probably better off just putting a whole used pump in. So there you go. The worst impeller removal I've ever had. Broke my favorite tool. It's pretty much gotten every single one of them off, and it sucks. So that's 3 tools broken, and it still needs a drive shaft and impeller. So if you get in this situation, probably better off just buying a used pump. That's all I'll leave you with.
Here's a better look at how bad the impeller and drive shaft threads looked when the impeller finally spun off the shaft. This one's definitely getting a new drive shaft and impeller. That wraps it up, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Please smash the like button to support us and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.